Hey YouTube, so I figured we'd do another video on this smoke issue we've been having here in New York, because this one is even worse than yesterday. So I guess what we'll do is we'll just walk around the local neighborhood where I live and kind of take a walk around and see, just see how everybody's managing. As you can see from the camera, it is like Mars. Yesterday, when we were out here, it was mostly the lighting. It was dark, and but it wasn't as orange as what we're looking at right now. Also, you can see the smoke. So if you look in the distance, I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but like on the next block, it's you could literally see the smoke. Got a mailman here, getting ready. Now, yesterday the big deal was how dark it got. So today, I don't want to say it is dark. Oof, he almost walked right into that car. I don't even know if he was paying attention. Anyway, can't blame it on the smoke, because I was able to see the car from here. So we're just going to walk around the local neighborhood and see what it looks like. But comparing today to yesterday, or maybe 12 to 18 hours ago, I would say this. I'd say this is a little worse than yesterday. I mean, it's definitely not the same as yesterday. It's definitely worse. You could see it in the air. You could see the color is more orange than it was yesterday. Now, who needs Elon Musk? I mean, we don't need to go to Mars. We live on Mars right now, right? This is what Mars looks like. There's this, and I can't describe it. We're about to go under some trees, so it's kind of shady. But you can see how dark it gets when you get under these trees. Now this time, you can, if you keep your mouth open long enough while you're breathing, it starts to burn the back of your throat. I don't think it matters whether you have respiratory problems or not. I think this is going to affect everybody today. What they were saying on the news this morning was that today and tomorrow might be they said for sure today was going to be the worst. And then this is supposed to continue through the weekend until this storm there's a storm in the northeast right off the coast of Nova Scotia that's the same storm that brought the thunderstorms for the last few days. It's just stuck out there spinning and spinning like a cartwheel, and every time it makes another spin, it drags all of this smoke down. But they said today was going to be the worst. So how I feel personally, my throat, not like yesterday. So yesterday I was fine. The thing about yesterday was the smoke wasn't low. It was mostly up in the air. Today it is on the ground. So the National Weather Service had put out an advisory about 30 minutes ago, and what they call this is surface smoke. So this is where the downdrafts are pushing the smoke down on top of us. Yesterday it was more, the smoke was up in the air and it was causing a lot of smog, and you could smell it. But today it's, as far as smelling it today, it's even stronger than yesterday. When I left my apartment, as soon as I opened the door, it all came in. Yesterday when I left my apartment, it didn't do that. It kind of, you had to be outside for maybe about a minute and then you start to smell it. But today it's saturated in the air. I mean, look at the park here. Park's like, it's just all that smoke going across. You could literally see the smoke like moving. I guess we'll walk through 17th Avenue Park. What I want to see is maybe look at some cars and see if anything is dropping down on the cars. Now, if you're wondering, it is a clear day out today. So if I point my camera directly up, you're going to see the sun is up there. So the sun is out. So it's not a matter of clouds or anything like that. It is clear as far as weather is concerned. Now the sun that I just showed you, it doesn't, that's as good as you see. Like, it's not casting a shadow. Like, if you look down, or if you just looking in the park here, we'll look in the basketball field, you'll see there's no shadows being cast other than the ambient shadows that you see on a cloudy day. But if you look, there's no, and I just showed you that the sun is out, but it can't even cast a shadow. It's just, what it's doing is acting like a warming filter that you would put on a camera to make things look warm. Now today what I did, the thing I didn't do yesterday because it was such a quick video, is I made sure that I'm allowing the camera to adjust automatically for the white balance. So what it came up with was around 65, 6600. Normally I operate it on a normal day or any kind of day outside, you would operate a lot lower than that. And I'm looking at the screen, and this is definitely more representative of what it looks like outside today and yesterday. Although today it's, I'd say, ×2. You can see, there's another thing I noticed, is not a lot of people out. Generally on a day like this, especially around the park, you'll see a lot of people walking around. Baby carriages, riding bikes. No, there's nobody down here. Today the taste, yesterday I said it kind of tasted like fire, you know, like a, kind of like a, I don't know how to describe it, like when you burn something, you know, and you eat it, like burnt toast. But today it's been replaced by like a taste of like just chalk. We're gonna walk through this courtyard. And like I say, it gets dark in some areas. It's strange how the sun does not brighten up, even though it's out, can't brighten up anything. It's just like an orange ball. What I'm gonna do, since it's so dark, I'm gonna flip the filter. So just give me a minute here, and we'll pick up where we left off. I'm gonna make the filter a little bit brighter. All right, so it's a little bit better, but as you see, it's still dark. And what I'm doing is I'm walking through a courtyard of a condo community building thing, whatever you want to call it. Although I think all these buildings have converted a lot of these into apartments now. Interestingly enough, you could hear a fire truck responding to a fire. It's kind of ironic. I think what we'll do here is we'll walk in the street, since it's pretty shady down here. And the sun just went in and it's gotten really dark. So, and that's usually what happens. Every once in a while it gets really dark and then it brightens up again. And we are walking on a very heavily wooded area, like for a street. This is, I think I went onto Bay 17th Street in Bensonhurst. This happens to be a very heavily tree-lined street, so we'll be coming into more of a brighter area in a second. And it's definitely affected me more than yesterday, that's for sure. Last night when I went to sleep, right before I went to sleep, I noticed that my throat was really sore. So it may not affect you right away. As I was saying, it may not affect you right away, but you'll feel it later on. If it doesn't affect you right away, you will feel it later on. It looks like I got an ambulance stopping right here, so let's go check it out. Well, let's not get hit by a car and end up in the ambulance. It looks like it's his bus. Looks like somebody is probably requiring assistance inside the bus. Yep, that's what it looks like. And you never know, it could be related to this. Oh yeah, there's a person on the bus that doesn't look like they feel well. So there you go. Possibly related. You can see these guys across the street, they're just working through it. They don't get to take a day off. This is a very, Bruce Supply Corp is a very busy supply company that supplies pretty much a lot of piping. You see here, see all this stuff right here. This guy's moving around. You might have even seen these trucks around the city. This is where it originates from this place right here. I know that when I've ever been out working in the city, I see the Bruce Supply trucks all over the place. So this is pretty telling. So this supermarket, so Key Food, is very busy. And you can see the parking lot is empty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, 9 cars. All right, so we're getting on Bath Avenue now. It smells so, I mean, it's just such a strong smell. And today, the difference between today and yesterday is the burn sensation that you get in your nose. Like a very, like, not like when you get allergies. So I have allergies, so it's not that kind of, it's different. When you have allergies, it's more of like a burny, itchy, but this is, it's a very, it just makes your nose burn every time you take a breath in. Well, you guys see there are people out, but I can tell you, like, it's way less than I'm used to seeing outside. Normally you see a lot more people outside. So people are heeding the warnings that they've been putting out saying to stay inside unless you absolutely need to go out. Now if you have, I would imagine if you have breathing problems, any kind of respiratory illnesses and stuff, you should not be out. Because me, I'm having a hard time. I mean, I could breathe. It's not a situation like I can't breathe. It's more of an irritation. It looks like it's starting to get a little dark again. So we're getting into that thick smoke again. Now they had said this morning, no, they had predicted that at around 1, between 1 and 2, it was going to get really bad, and that's what time it is right now. As a matter of fact, if I look at my phone, it is 10 after 1, so. I made a joke earlier about Mars, but it looks like Mars. I mean, it is, it's orange. Like a yellow, like a yellow, not like this yellow, but like a yellow brown. And when I'm looking at the trees, like on the next block, they're not green, they're like orange. Until you get real close, you notice that it's green. Funny thing is, I've done a few walks that are just queued up in YouTube, but I guess this is what I'll be putting out for the next couple of days until this all clears out. They said that this is going to be going, I think I said it earlier, until the weekend, so. Ice cream truck just went by. I don't think anybody's buying ice cream today, unless they want a brick oven flavored vanilla ice cream. I had joked in a comment this morning for the previous video that when I got in yesterday, it was kind of funny. I got in, got my clothes off, took a shower, and then I went, obviously sat on the computer to look at the video, get it ready. And it had been like a couple of hours. And I went into the bedroom, and that was where I put my clothes down. I have like a spot where I put my clothes down. And when I first walked in the door, it smelled like something had, it smelled like burned wood. So my first thought was, I left the window open, or it's getting in through the window. So I opened up the window, and believe it or not, it was still very thick last night, but it wasn't. When I opened the window, the smell wasn't as bad. So I closed the window and I turned around. I realized that my clothes had smelled like they were in a fire. And I had joked this morning, says that It smelled like my clothes were dry cleaned in a brick oven. So I had that, you know, that smell. So we gotta look up at the sun right now. The sun just came back out, but it's not gonna expose well. But it's out. It's not as bright as what you just saw. That's just the camera. I got the aperture open pretty high, so any kind of bright light will show up much brighter. But it looks like a like, you know, just like a, I like to call them, it looks like a gumdrop. You could see just, you know, if you look at the area, there's no shadows being casted, like direct shadows, so sunlight's not getting through. Want to walk through an alley? Those are just driveway alleys, private driveway alleys. I don't want to walk through with the camera on YouTube, because then, you know someone will watch it and be like, that's private property, should be showing that, blah blah blah. So I'm not gonna walk through it. I'll walk through it without the camera though. I do it all the time. It's getting really thick again, so another wave, like it clears up a little bit and then another wave comes in. Another thing, if you notice, is that we are in, just like last summer, a little bit of a drought here. You can see the grass is all brown, and so if people aren't watering their lawns, like this lawn is definitely, this lawn right here is watered. But this lawn right here is not watered. We haven't been getting any rain. Last summer we had the same situation. We had a very wet winter, and then summer came and it never rained. And then we got a lot of rain over the fall, late fall, early winter, most of the winter. This winter we didn't even have, it was like a year without winter. We didn't experience anything. Temperatures were mostly in the 40s or 50s. We had no snow. I think the one time it snowed, we only got about 7/10 of an inch. This year is starting to be a replay of last year. This guy's watering the lawn. but it doesn't look like it's helping. Or if he's been watering the lawn, it doesn't look like it has helped. Now I said we were going to check some cars out, so when we get to the ends of this road, this 16th Avenue, we're going to check out some of these cars. I'm looking at them, and you can tell there's definitely like a soot on them. But it's very thin. It's not anything, you know, to write home about, but it's visible. It's starting to get dark again. There's a plane overhead, but I can't see it. And now I'm just starting to see the plane come into view. It looks, you just barely see it passing over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably wrap up the video here in about 5 minutes. I'm close to home, so I definitely don't want to spend any more time out here, because it's you spend enough time out here, man, you feel it. I'm going to walk in a direction towards the bridge, because it's starting to get really orange down there, so I want to show that off. So we were down here yesterday, and you can't even, so remember yesterday, I'm going to show everybody something. Remember yesterday when we looked at Coney Island, you can see Coney Island, but it was like very foggy. Well, now look, there's nothing. You can't see a thing now. And now, interestingly enough, you can't see Bay Parkway either, which is the next exit. So this is way worse. I think what we're gonna do is we'll get over to the same spot where we were yesterday, not the exact same spot, but where we started. And just take one quick look, and that's where we'll end the video. And it's just got really orange outside. Very dark. The sun just went in. There are two cyclists on the bike path, and they are riding very slow, and they got their heads down. I don't know why you would want to ride bikes in this. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mean to judge. I get it. People got to get out and exercise. But something like biking, unless you have to do it for money and you have a job, I take the day off, man. So I hope I could get to the overpass before this current batch of smoke goes away, because this is crazy. Like right now, the visibility is less than a mile. So this is probably the worst it's been during this current walk. What we'll do is we'll cross that same spot over there that we crossed yesterday. I was about to end the walk, and then this is how bad it got, so I want to keep this rolling for a little while. You can look out there and see those trees out there. Those trees are not too far from me. That's where we're going right now, over on the overpass. So I can tell you right now that the bridge you can't see the bridge. So when we get to that spot, I'll show you what it looks like. And that's looking across the Parkway right there. The way I'm holding my camera, it looks like I'm holding in like some kind of air meter and I'm measuring the air. People probably think I like maybe work for the EPA or something. It is really dark right now. I mean, just absolutely dark. I'm gonna cross over here again. This is where we cross over here in this area. I was gonna put a little note in the video because when I start the video off from yesterday's video, it looks like I'm walking on, like directly on the shoulder, like on the street part, but I was actually up on the grass. And I had the camera in my right hand over the pavement. But this is normal for us to cross over here. It might look dangerous, but we all cross over here. You can see the beaten path right here. So everybody comes over here and they walk across this path, and then we cross the lanes over here. I was walking up on the grass here. And then as far as the cars coming off the highway, there is a blind spot, but you can see through the trees when a car gets on the exit. So you know a car is coming at well ahead of time. So you're able to judge, like right here, it's very easy to cross right now. You got a guy trying to do a U-turn. Actually, he's trying to make a turn onto Independence Avenue. So it's not as dangerous as it looks. But I was watching the video yesterday, and I was like, man, the people are gonna watch that video, they're gonna think like, this guy's walking on a highway. But there's plenty of signs that tell the drivers that there's people crossing this. And they had to reduce the speed because of that. Across the park. Look at that. That is crazy. You know what? Let's take a quick glance over there. Because the park, like just looking across the field like that really shows it. The visibility is definitely below a mile because I can't see the bridge. I know you can't see it on the camera, but I know where to look through these trees, and it's just not there. And the bridge is about a mile away, so if you can't see the bridge, it's below a mile visibility. Look at this. like Mad Max. Anybody ever see that movie, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome? That's what this reminds me of. All right, we'll get up on the overpass where the bike path is, and then we'll end the walk there. Because I definitely want to get inside. My throat is really burning right now. So there's a first glimpse. You could tell there's no bridge down there. So we were here yesterday, but you're about to see that it is way worse today than it was yesterday when we did this. Because yesterday we could see the bridge. And today, you can't see the bridge. And you can't even see Bay Parkway, which is the next one over, next exit out. I'm looking in that direction, you can't see anything. So this is a type that you definitely wouldn't be able to fly a drone in, because as soon as you get it up about 100 feet, you're gonna lose it. You'll lose sight of it. So here you go, look. It's as if the bridge was never built. And we'll just take a quick look, and that's how we'll end this. We're starting to see the bridge is starting to come into view, so it looks like we're coming out of a heavy pocket again. But if you remember yesterday, when we came down here, I did the look around. Well, you could tell you can't see anything now. There's the bridge. I don't know if you could see the bridge in the camera. I know I could see it, but barely. It's just coming into view now, and then when you pan over to Coney Island, nothing. And again, this is a day, I'll tell you right now, down on the bike path, there's always people down here. You got this one person running down here. I would not recommend that. I mean, I get, you know, like I said, I don't want to judge people. But I would highly recommend that you don't. She'll feel it later, I'll tell you that. That's what happened to me yesterday. Yesterday I went, I felt great. And about 2 hours later, I felt horrible. It doesn't hit you right away. It'll hit you later, you know. If you can come out here and you're like, you know, I don't feel nothing, I'm good. It's gonna, one way or another, you'll feel like either your nose will feel really burny and dry, or the back of your throat's gonna be sore. So, all right, so I don't think I'm gonna do any more of these videos. I think everyone gets the picture. Don't want to beat a dead horse, like people say. Now, if something crazy happens and it turns into like Mars 2.0 and it's like dark orange, yeah, I'm gonna whip out the camera. But I think this is it for me. I think, and like I said, this is supposed to last for a while. They're saying through the weekend. And they're saying that today and tomorrow is supposed to be the worst of it. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, everyone stay safe, take care, and we'll catch you on the next one. And eventually I'll start posting my regular walks again. But then again, if you see what it looks like now, I mean, this is what you would be walking in. So I may even have to pause on the walking videos for a little while. Not because I can't do them. It's just, you know, who wants to look at this? This is ugly. You know, this is not a pretty sight. Be like, you start a Walking on Mars channel. I'd have a title, Walking on Mars. All right, guys, take care. Catch you on the next one.